Hey everyone, Z-Slayer Dre here, and today I'm going to be giving the gaming news over the past week. I am currently working on a few reviews right now that have proven to be very time consuming, so I figured I'd just do a news roundup this week, although I kind of wouldn't mind doing that every week. So let's get into it. First up, we have Google Stadia shut down both of its first party development studios and will now focus on building relationships with third party studios instead. This is really concerning. For one, everyone seemed to predicted that this would happen. Google has a horrific reputation for starting up projects and canceling them the second something goes wrong, or even if they don't go wrong. I think under the right guidance, they really could have been a dominant force in gaming. Whether or not that would have been a good thing or not, who knows? But under competent leadership, even semi-competent leadership, they could have built something to rival Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo very easily. But given the sheer incompetence, it seems like they were unable to, or even they weren't even willing to try, it seems. So honestly, I personally hate the push to cloud gaming. I know a lot of companies are pushing to that. That is unfortunately probably going to be the future. Game companies love the idea of us not owning anything and just basically renting out things and paying them a monthly fee. I personally prefer to own my products that I buy and spend my money on. But, everyone's different. And there are some use cases where the streaming does work. If you're someone who travels a lot for your job, that makes sense because, you can't bring your gaming computer or your, gaming console with you. And I'm sure you have a lot of downtime when you're traveling. So, yeah, this makes sense in those cases. So there are fringe cases where this really does make sense and it is a good service for people. But they just went about it the wrong way. And it sucks that there was a lot of talented people that they hired that could have probably made some good games were they given the time, but it seems like they were not, so we're getting nothing out of it. And who knows if they'll try again at some point. Maybe they're just trying to fix the technology, because I know there's issues with that. We're not there yet. This is another 5 to 10 years where this is really going to start to be prevalent. People don't have the internet to do this en masse. This is a really limited use case right now. And again, I don't think people don't want to go to fully streaming games, but publishers will push us there at some point. They do control everything, unfortunately. I mean, we could control everything, but we don't. We just let them do whatever they want. So, big topic for another day. Next up, we have on an earnings call, Activision Blizzard let its shareholders know that both Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 will not be coming out in 2021. They will instead focus on making more remasters to release this year, presumably due to the low cost and recent success that they've had with other remasters such as Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Apparently, Diablo Immortal is progressing well and will release later this year, and considering since all of us gamers do actually have phones, it should be a smash success, I imagine. But yeah, this isn't really anything too surprising. We knew that basically them announcing Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 and anything else was basically them just dangling the keys in front of the crowd to, appease them for all the horrific things that they've done. It doesn't surprise me about the remasters being made because, as I said, they are very, very low cost to make compared to other big projects, and they sell very well because there's not many good games coming out, so everything good coming out is mostly remasters. So people buy them up like crazy. So you have a low cost to make product that sells really well with a high margin. Of course they're going to focus on it. They didn't say anything specifically that they're going to work on. I would have to imagine though that one of those things is going to be Burning Crusade remastered or Burning Crusade Classic, whatever they're going to call it. I'm looking forward to it. I hate giving Activision Blizzard money, but, I have a bunch of friends that have made through the game, and I enjoy playing with them. It sucks that it's a terrible company that we're giving money to, but it is nice to have that. It is a fun game, and it's really, I wish someone else was in control of it, but I'll probably be playing it. I would imagine they're going to do it. I know there's been, leaks, though, coming out in, May. I've heard June. I would think probably later summer. I would think probably COVID probably pushed things back a little bit. And there's a lot of guilds still working on Naxxramas, so I don't think they want to make the second mistake, or the mistake again this time around, not giving people enough time to finish that. So I think they'll probably give them at least a few more months before that comes out. Next up, we have Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake has been indefinitely delayed. The news comes from a tweet from the official account for the game, which really didn't give much detail as to the reason for the delay. They kind of just gave a stock generic tweet. I'm sure it's probably has to do with pandemic. It's pushing everyone back, it seems. And given the issues Ubisoft has been having with their very low quality releases starting to bite them in the ass, I think maybe they're going to try and polish it up a little bit. I mean, I'm sure it's going to come out very buggy. I mean, that's just kind of like the Ubisoft special, but their like signature move, if you will. Maybe they'll try and polish it up a little bit. It's one I was actually kind of looking forward to because I never played that back in the day. I was actually kind of excited about that. So we'll see. Maybe it might be pushed back down next year. If they said indefinitely, it's probably going to be a while. PlayStation 5 has officially shipped 4.5 million units as of December 31st, 2020. It's even been reported several dozens of those millions have ended up in the hands of gamers as well. Despite reports that Sony would ramp up production and produce more consoles than in previous generations, it seems like the exact same amount of consoles were shipped as the PlayStation 4, meaning they didn't. So I think it was Bloomberg that reported that, and I think Sony might have played into it too a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't seem like they really producing any more than they have in the past. It was obviously a bad time to release. It's gone horribly. They can't. The production's still going to take. I mean, they're saying the summer for it to normalize. It's probably going to be longer than that. The scalping situation is still horrific. Everything. The release was botched. But Sony's made mistakes every step of the way. Yeah, it sucks that they're getting rewarded for their mistakes, but I'm sure every single one of those 4.5 million has been sold. Mostly the scalpers, obviously, but I know a few people who have unfortunately purchased it from scalpers. I don't understand it, but it really sucks. I want one myself. I tried to do the friggin' Walmart one the other day, and literally I didn't even see add to cart. It just instantly gone, even though I had like 5 tabs open. Couldn't see it once, and they kept saying like every 10 minutes, be like, "Oh, it's available again in 10 minutes," and I just didn't see it at once. Next up in the news, Hitman 3 is still seeing file transfer issues, making the game unplayable for many who purchased it that don't want to lose their progress. Despite this major flaw, IO Interactive has stated that paying customers will have to wait till the end of February to play the DLC price as a full game. There is still no word on if they will offer refunds, but they are giving PC players the Hitman 1 Game of the Year DLC Access Pass if they pre-ordered the game or bought it within 10 days of release. Considering the vast majority of people doing the file transfer would be doing a file transfer because they already owned the older content and want to play it in the newer game, this is a really poor attempt to make things right and shows that IO Interactive, now that they have their money, they could not care less about making it right for the people who purchased the game. This is really, really bad situation. Personally, unless I have to buy something for a review copy, I am never purchasing something from IO Interactive again. It was really, really bad experience with Hitman 3. And it sucks that people that want to play it can't. Because if you start up Hitman 3, if you don't transfer your save before you start Hitman 3, basically whenever you do transfer the save, you lose all your progress. So say you start playing Hitman 3 right now and figure once you beat the game and do some challenges and stuff, then once it's working, you can transfer your older save. You can't do that. Wipe out everything you do in Hitman 3. So basically, you have to wait till they fix this transfer before you play the game, unless you want to wipe out all your progress, which I'm assuming most people don't want to do. And for our final news story, in extremely disturbing news, Warner Brothers Games has patented the Nemesis system from their Middle-earth series of games. Despite the games heavily borrowing, if not straight up ripping off other games, they have been able to patent these systems regardless. The patent includes the Nemesis characters, Nemesis 4, social vendettas, and followers in computer games. This is very disturbing, as I said. I really liked the first game. I had a ton of fun of it. The second one, I still had a lot of fun with it. Obviously, they had the huge microtransaction issue. Actually, once they took it out, it was a lot of fun. There's definitely issues with the game that could have been fixed also, but it's still a decent game. The thing is, those games took basically all of the ideas in those games. Nothing was original. It was an established IP. Granted, they made an original story in it, but it wasn't like a new thing that they came up with. The combat was taken from the Batman Arkham series. The stealth was taken straight from Assassin's Creed. Not that Assassin's Creed is innocent and all this thing. They heavily they steal everything. They even stole the Nemesis system from. They even stole the Nemesis system from the Middle Earth games. I mean, I guess it's fair. I mean, the Middle Earth games took stuff from them, but then, it's this whole cycle where people build up. Now, a lot of publishers do just straight up rip off stuff, but there are those publishers that see something like a game mechanic that has potential, and they take it and they turn it into their own thing and make it much, much better. And then that's how we see games progress and grow. With something like this being patented, this system obviously has a lot of potential, so it's really sad that we're not going to see anything develop from this. And like I said, this Nemesis system isn't anything really new. Like, there has been other games that use very similar systems to this. That's why I'm so shocked they were able to patent it, because I wonder if they're going to run. It must be. I guess they've been trying to get it patented since 2015 and have run into issues because it was too close to other patents, which is not surprising. But it seems like they were able to tweak it just to the right point where they were able to patent it. I really don't like the fact that game mechanics can be patented. Obviously, if you have original characters and story, fine. But that type of stuff I don't like. It's going to stifle game development. Especially since I said it's not technically really something they came up with themselves. They just happen to be the ones who patented it. So I wonder if I'm guessing in order to infringe on this patent, it probably has to be like identical to it. So if someone does, I think there hopefully is room for people to take it and make it something new and something better. And hopefully that is the case. I'm not a patent lawyer. I don't know. But it's still disturbing, and I don't like it at all. So hopefully this is not a trend we see in the future, because that could be very, very dangerous for the gaming industry and a potential to kill it, honestly, if it goes too far. Hopefully this is just a one-time thing. I know there are other companies that have patents. Not crazy about that either. Hopefully this is a extraordinarily rare thing to happen. So there you have it. That's the gaming news for the week of February the 7th. The Super Bowl is tonight, so enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, now is a great time. Make sure you hit the like button, and I will see you all in the next video.